Have you ever heard about a bank that was so good at hiding people's money, even the US government couldn't catch them? Well, it turns out that this bank not only catered to rich people who just wanted to stash their cash, but also criminals who were looking to launder their ill-gotten gains. And when the feds finally caught up to them, they were forced to cough up the names of almost 5,000 account holders. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of how they did it and why, let's take a step back and see how this all started. Our story begins with a bang, specifically the biggest offshore tax evasion scheme ever seen in the United States. In 2009, the US Justice Department accused Switzerland's largest bank, UBS, of helping wealthy Americans hide over $13 billion in offshore accounts. This bombshell revelation kicked off investigations into 150 Americans who allegedly used UBS to evade taxes on their undeclared income. Suddenly, UBS became public enemy No. 1 in the eyes of the US government, and the feds were determined to bring them down. But wait a minute, why was UBS doing this? You might be wondering what could drive a massive financial institution like UBS to help its clients break the law. Well, the answer is simple: money. Over the years, UBS had built a reputation for being the go-to bank for people who wanted to keep their financial dealings under wraps. From dictators to drug lords, everyone who wanted to hide money from the prying eyes of the IRS or other government agencies turned to UBS, and the bank was happy to oblige, charging hefty fees for its discretion and security services. But this all came crashing down when a former UBS employee blew the whistle and spilled the beans on the bank's shady dealings. With the feds now on their tail, UBS found themselves in a precarious position. They could try to fight the charges, but knew that they wouldn't come out unscathed. So instead, they decided to strike a deal with the prosecutors. In the end, UBS agreed to pay a fine of over $78 million and provide the names of almost 5,000 account holders to the US government. But the damage was already done. UBS's reputation was in tatters, and they were now on the radar of financial regulators around the world. But the bank wasn't going down without a fight. They quickly implemented measures to improve their compliance procedures and vowed to never break the law again. However, the question remains: how did UBS go from being the poster child for banking secrecy to being a bank that was willing to bend the rules to cater to the rich and famous? To understand how UBS got to where they did, we need to go back to the beginning. In 1862, the bank was founded in Basel, Switzerland, as a small local lender. Back then, Switzerland was a neutral country known for its beautiful scenery and commitment to neutrality. This made it an ideal location for a bank that wanted to attract wealthy clients from around the world who were looking for a safe place to store their money. But it wasn't until the early 1900s that the bank really took off. During this time, Switzerland was experiencing a surge in immigration, which led to a growing middle class that needed banking services. At the same time, the country was becoming increasingly industrialized, which created a demand for loans and other financial products. The bank was quick to capitalize on these trends and began expanding its operations throughout Switzerland. However, despite their success in Switzerland, the bank remained a relatively small player in the global financial markets. That all changed in 1962 when a new CEO named Max Fischler took the reins. Fischler was a visionary leader who was determined to take the bank to the next level. He focused on attracting high-net-worth individuals as clients and built a team of bankers who were experts in wealth management. This strategy paid off, and the bank's assets under management grew rapidly. But it was during this time that the bank developed a reputation for catering to the rich and famous, including celebrities, politicians, and even members of the mafia. In the 1970s, the bank expanded internationally, opening offices in major financial centers like London, New York, and Hong Kong. This allowed them to tap into new markets and diversify their client base. However, it was during this time that the bank got in hot water with the US government. In 1978, the Internal Revenue Service began investigating Swiss banks, including UBS, for helping Americans evade taxes by hiding their money in Swiss accounts. The investigation led to the indictment of several UBS employees, but the bank itself was not charged. Despite this scandal, UBS continued to grow throughout the 1980s and 90s, but it wasn't until the early 2000s that the bank really hit its stride. During this time, UBS made some bold moves that cemented its status as a global financial powerhouse. In 2001, the bank merged with Swiss Bank Corporation, another large Swiss bank. to create a financial behemoth with over $1 trillion in assets under management. This merger allowed UBS to compete more effectively on the global stage and solidified its position as one of the most powerful banks in the world. But it was under the leadership of a man named Peter Woff, who took over as CEO in 2002, that UBS truly transformed itself. While his predecessors had focused on traditional banking services, Woff saw the writing on the wall and knew that the future of finance lay in securities and trading. So he set about transforming UBS into a global investment bank. He hired top talent from other financial institutions, including Morgan Stanley and Credit Suisse, and invested heavily in technology to enhance the bank's trading capabilities. Under Woff's leadership, UBS became one of the largest players in the global market, offering a wide range of financial products and services to clients around the world. From investment banking to wealth management to asset management, UBS had it all. By the late 2000s, UBS was a true titan of the financial industry. But as we now know, this success came at a cost. The bank's reputation for catering to the rich and powerful had preceded it, and they found themselves under the microscope of regulators and the media. But despite the challenges, UBS continued to thrive. Under the leadership of Sergio Armorti, who took over as CEO in 2012, the bank has continued to expand its global reach and enhance its financial products and services. Today, UBS is one of the largest banks in the world, with over $35 billion in assets under management and a workforce of over 35,000 people. But despite their success, the shadow of their past continues to loom large. Will UBS be able to shed its reputation for catering to the elite and reinvent itself as a more socially responsible institution? Only time will tell. As we wrap up this episode, we want to send a big thank you to our incredible community. Your support has been instrumental in helping us grow, and we couldn't have done it without you. If you're not already part of our community, be sure to join us on social media. We'd love to have you. Now, if you're a fan of finance and business, you'll love our other videos. We cover everything from investing to entrepreneurship to the latest news. So if you're interested, be sure to check out our other videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.